Hi guys, in this show we're looking at Castillo, Dickerson, Ferro, Morov, Lopez, Ryan, Lenz and Bronson. We're looking at 1987's Deathwish 4.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of That's Right, it's the Film Trivia Podcast, 100 Things You Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts, I'm Death.
And I'm the other guy, warmed up.
How are you warmed up in this weather? I'm going to date it, but it's fucking Baltic.
It's 25 degrees in here.
25 degrees. All right, he's got his fucking hive on and the lot. He sat there on his phone going, "Whammer, I need it, whammer."
all the wham.
Your descendants are spinning in the graves as they sit there eating fucking gruel
cold,
in a bothy
lonely
somewhere. And we are, of course, the podcast that tries to learn 100 things from every film that we talk about. And this week, we did it. We finally did it. We've invited him back for his fucking umpteenth go. Fifth go? John, sixth go? Yeah, fifth go. It's the always talented, always hilarious, and quite often upside down on the video, Paul Payne. Hey up, mate.
Hello.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, it's great to be back. It's been too long. It feels like it's been.
It has been too long. Yeah, we were going to do one of these a year was the plan, wasn't it? And so last year, 2024 should have been Deathwish 4. But you were busy. You didn't have any products to fucking hawk. Well, you had other products to hawk, and there's no way I'm doing The Shining on this podcast. No matter how much you beg.
How are we friends?
It's been done.
Yeah, no, it has been done to death. There's even a new documentary that they've just released.
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it's not people doing the old. Got more of that kind of. Well, this room could not have possibly had any windows,
no, it
and
was
it was
more
south
of that,
facing.
and it went even deeper into that.
Oh no! Who could care? Who could care? Paul, you are a multi-talented artist. You are a comic book creator. You are just a visual fucking genius. You are a t-shirt designer, he says, pointing to his Blamo t-shirt that Paul did for the live podcast. But why don't you tell the listeners where they can find you and what specifically you've got going on that is related to what we're talking about today?
Yeah, so I'm a bootleg comic creator, really. That's mainly what I do. So I like to take films and mash them up in all sorts of different strange ways. Rambo vs. Blair Witch was the first one I did, but currently the one that's just coming out tomorrow is Deathwish for Jason, the complete collection. So it was like a backup story in Rambo vs. the Blair Witch, but I've done it in full colour now, and I've done a part 2 as well to it. So it's very much what I would love Canon to have made back in the 80s, like straight to video, Jason versus Paul Kersey. And so if you want to get a copy, it's coming out tomorrow, limited to 50, and it's if you just Google at Evil Genuis Artworks, you'll find all my links, Etsy and my Instagram and all of that stuff. So
and it'll all be in the show notes. And Paul's saying tomorrow, but as this comes out, it'll have been available a couple of days. Paul, you sell these all around the world, don't you? You send them everywhere.
Yeah, I tend to have a much bigger following in America than I do in England because, I just think that they're deeper into this stuff than we are over here. Obviously, you guys are an exception, but it just seems, 95% of my sales are to Americans. So. God bless them all.
That's great. Fantastic. Selling anything to Europe at the minute is a fucking nightmare, isn't it?
I've got one German customer, and I when I send stuff to her, it's such a nightmare. But I think that was Brexit, wasn't it? But
you are,
love us.
Yeah, we don't. For now, till he fucking annexes us as well.
Yeah.
Elon Musk takes over and he annexes. Yeah. Nice. Anyway. Enough of that shit. Let's pretend none of that's happening. One question I've got for you, Paul, before we talk about what film we are talking about. Have you had a cease and desist from anybody yet?
Never. No.
I mean,
strangely.
you need to pick. You need to pick better
Yeah,
films. You need to pick characters that anyone gives a shit about in 2025.
I always thought as well, like, especially with the Rambo versus Blair Witch, that Sylvester Stallone would have like people that would just be monitoring every piece of activity revolving around him. But I just think
we've all watched The Tulsa King. We know he's a bad bastard. You know what I mean?
I still expect him to turn up on my doorstep one day and kick the shit out of me.
Mate, now that would make a comic.
But I don't know what the difference is to like the bootleg comics and people just printing T-shirts, Rambo T-shirts or Deathwish T-shirts. I think it would be, and for the money I make from it, which is minimal, I don't think I'd be worth taking to court. That's the way I look at it.
As soon as you put Mickey Mouse on one of those, though, mate.
You'll be there.
Disney is putting you into fucking the concentration camps.
Yeah, I leave anything related to Disney, but that's hard nowadays, isn't it? Because they own.
Oh yeah,
so
it's
much.
all it's all.
They own the world.
They own Predator now. They own
do they?
Predator.
And Alien, of course. Yeah,
Fucking
Alien and
hell.
Predator are both Disney princesses. Yeah, that's
terrible.
I'm all right with that. That's what's stopping us getting another Predator movie. Yeah. Anyway, Paul, you have bought for us the fantastically stupid and silly Deathwish 4. Parentheses the Crackdown.
Because he didn't go hard enough in the last 3 films where he basically wiped out entire neighbourhoods. He's cracking down now.
He's cracking down on crack.
Cracking on.
He's cracking on. He is. So, listeners, if you haven't, go back and listen to us talk about. I mean, John and I talk about Deathwish, which is easily one of the best. I guess you could call them dadsploitations, couldn't you? I'm actually going to fucking coin that. I'm going to get that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Dadsploitations is Deathwish 1. Deathwish 2 is quote unquote very, very good, and Paul joined us for that. Deathwish 3 is bizarre and just he basically takes down a city street. And Deathwish 4, where he decides to take out a different kind of villain, a different kind of gang. So we'll cover a lot more of that. If you like what we do, give us a quid. We will shout you out every episode. We'll also allow you the chance to pick an episode. Our next episode is being picked by our patron Kieran, where we're going to be talking about Videodrome.
Oh, that's a classic.
America's Rose, James Woods.
Blondie's in that, isn't she? Blondie.
Yes. So certainly an awakening for me.
The old Ashley's in it. She's in there.
I haven't seen it in about 20 years. I assume it's not going to make a great episode, but it is what it is. It's only a matter of time before somebody picks Sarlo or something like that for us to watch anyway. So or Rita Sue and Bob 2.
Rita Sue and Bob 2.
Rita Sue and Bob 3, but
2.
not in Roman numerals because the Americans don't know Roman numerals. Anyway, so if you want to do that, you can go to 100thingswelearnfromfilm.co.uk. It's where you can get all our socials, or you can go to patreon.com/100thingsfilm. Right, let's get started, shall we? Gentlemen, you know the rules. Jump in whenever you want. We are going to spoil this almost 40-year-old film.
Jesus,
almost 40-year-old film. Chuck has been dead 22 years this year.
Rest in peace, Chuck.
Right.
Absolutely, rest in a fucking gun case or
Badass
something.
heaven.
Death.
He's in badass heaven.
Death. If he was death, he would have prevented his own death. But here we are. Yeah. Right.
Kick my own ass.
If you don't like the sillier episodes, listeners, come back next week because this one's going to be a mess. Yeah. Well, we ain't even drinking. Right.
I am.
So we open. Of course you are. He's probably. I assume you're on the Aldi Jack Daniels again, are you?
Samuel Joes. All the way.
2 first name wanker. Right. So we open with a canon film. We've done the canon film stuff before. Anybody got anything that we haven't covered?
Nah, we've done it to death.
Great. J. Lee Thompson, though.
No,
Mission in
I got
Action.
Golan Globus first.
Right, okay, well, let's start with Golan and Globus, our friends at Canon, then, shall we?
Because they done 52 Pickup, which is a film I've not seen in years. I remember it fondly, but I don't know why I remember
What is
it.
it?
That's the dude from Jaws,
remember.
isn't it?
I think it is the old...
Quint,
the
is it?
Quick,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
the main dude in Jaws. I forget what his
Oh,
name is.
Schneider.
Yeah, Schneider.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good film,
Aye,
that
but
is.
it's been a while since...
But Mission in
Yeah, 'cause I
Action,
mean,
they did, didn't they? And
Fucking missing. Maybe that's
Cobra.
one.
Cobra.
Cobra we've
Cobra,
done.
yeah.
Invasion USA, maybe we should do, Paul.
You need to
I
do
know you
that.
like Invasion USA.
I would like to come back for that one if you ever do
well,
it.
we'll put it on the list.
Deathwish 3 as well.
J. Lee Thompson was the director, gentlemen. What a career this guy had, by the way. I mean, Ice Cold in Alex, which is the Jeep in the Desert film with John Mills, that basically at the very, very end of it is just an advert for Carlsberg, because all he wants is half a pint of Carlsberg at the end. Spoiler for an almost 70-year-old film. The Guns Are Never Own, the original Cape Fear.
Ooh.
And this wasn't his first Bronson film. In fact, he directed 8 films starring Charles Bronson.
Some really good ones as well. White
did.
Buffalo.
Really, really good ones. White
Yeah.
Buffalo's mental.
Yeah, that's my favourite Bronson Western, even above Once Upon a Time in the West.
Is it really? Oh,
Controversial, yeah.
Once
I
Upon
love
a
White
Time in
Buffalo.
the West is grim. It's so grim. The music is the film's edited by Peter Lee Thompson, and I thought, hang on a second, that's a little bit close to the
Nepotism.
name. Yeah, Nepo babies, they make our dreams come true. Yeah, it's his son.
They said that because Canon were on a budget at this point, they
They had run out of money.
they were using music
No.
from Missing in Action and the Bronson slasher film, which is amazing, which I don't think you've done. 10 to Midnight.
Yeah, 10 to
But
Midnight.
they were just using recycled music from that because they couldn't afford a new score.
Wow. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No. They've done a lot to save money on this. I know
Oh,
Yeah.
there's some crap. There's some crap happens in this because they spent all the money blowing up half of London in the third one. So we open in the underground car park where McLeod killed Fazil in the start of Highlander.
What a fuck, aye. Jesus. I've questions about that as well.
Is it the same car park?
Where did that fuck...
No,
Where did
no,
that
it's just a
spotlight
car
be?
park. No, that's a car park at Madison Square Gardens in the Highlander film. I saw your Highlander film. It was shit. I saw your Deathwish 3. It was shit. A woman gets in her car, and she spots this gang of goons. The car won't start. They start smashing the windows of the cars.
It's a 1985 BMW 3.
Aye.
It was lovely, wasn't it?
I knew John would be on that.
That was nice.
Of course
Yeah,
it was.
all over it. Longer car.
The car won't start, so I looked at what will cause a car not to start, especially in this weather. Dead battery due to cold
Yeah.
or lack of use, which is my car. Starter motor, bad alternator, not to be confused with bad dates. Clogged or faulty fuel filter, or spark plugs, which of course, as we learnt in the last episode, are a Jewish invention to control global traffic.
Exactly.
At least that's what Brother Barry says.
don't buy them.
It's not what we think. It's not what we think. We did 4 lines in the last episode, Paul. We've not gone anti-Semitic all of a sudden.
I didn't realise I was coming back to this.
Oh, it's all gone to shit after 4 lines. I've been completely radicalised.
Is your next film American History X?
See, this is why we don't do these type of films. Yeah, we're never. We should do stuff like Fight Club and stuff like that because I'm just going to end up giving money to Andrew Tate. Who knows? Yeah. So these lads start smashing the fucking windows, right?
Yeah, but did you notice the spotlight?
No.
Did anybody pick up the fact that it was the darkest bloody...
I
car
thought it was very...
But there was this one spotlight.
It was really
It
well
was like
lit.
fucking... It was like a Bohemian
Yeah.
Rhapsody or something.
It was that proper 80s lighting. I do like
Yeah.
that, though.
Aye.
There is a bit, you're right, John, where the guys are stood there, all 3 of them, and they look exactly like that bit out of Bohemian Rhapsody as the light comes down on them.
The light goes in.
Except they've got tights
Never
over their
noticed.
heads. It's
Aye.
something
And,
else.
and they certainly weren't easy come, easy go.
At least one of them looks like a giant sausage, doesn't it? With his nose pushing up. Right? Great.
Big Frank Butter.
They start smashing the windows. They can't get through the front. The glass in a card side window is made of tempered glass, so a safety hammer will smash the window. Windscreens, however, are made out of laminated glass, which is to make sure that you don't fly through them when you hit a bollard. So it's much harder to break them. All right. Luckily, lads, you can buy a battery-powered time-saver windshield cutter, £282, from, you're not going to believe this, Equalizer Tools.
No way. Edward Woodward back on the cake again.
Well, I was going to go Denzel, but yeah.
No, Edward Woodward all the way from me, big man.
Old Iwa-woo-wah. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect rapist accessory.
Apparently. Jesus. I thought I was going to end up giving money to Andrew Tate, not you. Jesus.
Oh, it's all gone so wrong, and we've only been 10 minutes in.
10 minutes in, yeah. They drag her out the car and start slapping about, ripping her clothes off. I mean, it's classic Deathwish style. It's really gratuitous. But this is the first Deathwish film that doesn't have any boobies in it.
Not one nipple.
Yeah.
Or rape.
Good.
Yeah.
Fucking glad of it.
Only the buyers.
Yeah. And she is actually one of only 3 female characters in this, and she isn't a character because she's in a dream. Spoiler.
I find that dream sequence really. I watch so much crap, but I really hate it when a dream is from 2 people's perspective, because it's Bronson's dream, innit? But the whole
He's seeing it from
the dream.
yeah.
I love that scene though.
It's certainly fun. When they rip her blouse off, it's like Hulk Hogan ripping a t-shirt off. So at the back, you know it's absolutely shredded to make sure they can just rip it off dead easily. Just then, Kersey steps out of the shadows in this brilliant Eric Draven long leather jacket.
Oh yeah.
I wanted that to be his look for the whole film.
It would have been much better than Bomber Jacket Dad.
Exactly, aye.
It can't rain all the time.
Onions make you fart big time. Oh, did you notice a gun? Did you notice a gun?
I did not.
I didn't even need to look this up. I knew exactly what it was.
It's tiny though, isn't it?
It's like a Walther PPK. It's James
the
Bond's
Bond gun. James Bond's gun. Yeah.
That ain't a Bronson gun. Like in Deathwish 3, he had a Wildie Magnum.
Oh, that was
he's old Wildie.
That is.
It was just a little
time. Yeah, I didn't like that bit either.
But this one's easier to send through the post than the Wildie was. This one's much smaller. It costs a lot less in stamps than in the third movie.
He does make up for it later with a submachine gun with a rocket launcher.
We'll come to that. We will come to that nonsense.
That he keeps behind his fridge.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He blows 2 of them away. And he very, very slowly takes chase of the third one, doesn't he?
Yes.
I walk faster than he runs.
Yeah, there's no rush.
He rolls the corpse over, and whose face is it?
His own.
His own.
Smash cut to him, awake in his bed, all sweaty. It was just a dream. Now, at this point, I looked at his face, and I thought, what has happened in the short 3 years between the last film and this film to mean that he looks like that bloke who blows up in Big Trouble in Little China? His face is like...
It's big, isn't it?
Right. It is.
He's not working out by this stage.
Too many drugs. That's why I don't like drugs. Look what they did to my face. Good to see that he's still making architecture pay, though, because his house is fucking huge.
Oh, aye. Fucking massive, isn't it?
The radio tells us that it's a high of 80, so I did some research. It means this film could be set anywhere between July, high of 83 degrees Fahrenheit, and October, high of 80 degrees Fahrenheit. There you go.
Is this where it's saying the travel as well on the 101 in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
So I've just looked that up. So that runs through San Francisco Bay Area to the North Coast, Redwood Empire. I didn't look up how long it was, but I keep hearing this every time I watch a film. There's always mention of the 101.
Yeah.
But when you type in Route 101, it gives you hundreds of fucking directions in bloody America. I don't even know how to know that. It gave me bus routes.
It's 101, not the international operator.
I thought it was like a 555. Yeah, call me on 555. Blah 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 blah. But it's actually a proper bloody motorway.
KBLA Talk Radio in LA is real, by the way. There you go.
Oh.
KBL.
Heading to his office, we meet Erica. Now, did you recognise Erica out of anything?
I think I did. I'll just check my notes. Go ahead, John.
Married with children?
Oh no, she's the daughter. Well, she might be the neighbour's daughter in that.
National
no,
Lampoon's Vacation.
There you go. She's Audrey, Deirdre, Audrey.
Oh, so she is. She's Audrey.
She's
Audrey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun. She's off to we need to go to Wally World this year. I think we'll go to Wally World later this year.
Yeah, as long as
would you a trip back to those guys? No, John Candy's busy defending the Canadian border. Let's do Canadian bacon. It's very pressing. So Erica is working with him, and I want to say work experience or an apprenticeship.
Yeah,
she's bought some drawings of her own, and they're very, very good. And he's like, "These are good, not great, but good." And I'm like, mate. I don't know who this kid is, but you're not being particularly kind to her, whoever she is. And it turns out, the phone rings, it's Karen, Erica's mum, and Kersey's, I've written friend, ? But then later on we find out they're kind of in a relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too close, because as soon as I do, you'll die.
Yeah.
And remember, gentlemen, and anybody listening, get close to Kersey. Just make plans for whatever estate you've got, right? Because I am death. You're not fucking wrong, pal. You were not wrong. She's a reporter, and she wrote an article that he likes on battered wives. I mean, okay. That night, Erica's boyfriend pulls up, and she heads off with a curfew of 11 p.m. PK looks out the window and catches them sharing a doobie. He looks concerned because he's not a fan of Cheech and Chong movies, I assume.
No. 1986 Chevy Camaro Turok, by the way. Z.
Oh, right. Okay. Nice. It's a nice car. It was a nice car. Erica and Randy, he's called. Don't get too attached to Randy either, listeners, because he's got one big scene coming up.
They're literally cannon fodder.
Did we spot any machines in this arcade, lads?
Yes, we did.
Great machines.
Right after the bat, as in my ZX Spectrum favourite, Spy Hunter.
Oh, well spotted.
I love Spy Hunter.
I spotted machines in the later arcade scene.
Yeah, so did I. I've got a few bits on that.
Yeah, I haven't got that this arcade.
Spy Hunter John, top 5 highest grossing arcade games of 84 and 85, released in 1983. There's also a pinball table which came out in 84. There's a film version that's been in development hell at Universal since 2003.
Bloody hell.
Of pinball?
No, of Spy Hunter.
Spy Hunter.
Oh,
I would love to see a pinball film. Just make a generic pinball film. It's I don't know, 2.5 hours, directed by Eggers probably, or just somebody really fucking highbrow. And the pinball is played by Daniel Day-Lewis. He spent 6 months actually in a pinball machine or something. I don't know. This is my fact of the show, guys. I know it's early, and this is on Spy Hunter, not on pinball. In Murder, She Wrote episode titled Hit, Run and Homicide, Jessica realises the solution to the episode's mystery whilst playing Spy Hunter in the Cabot Cove grocery store.
No fucking way. That's amazing.
How good is that?
That's brilliant.
The other one I spotted was Ikarai Warriors. Do you remember Ikarai Warriors, lads?
Yeah.
That was basically like Commando, but it was 2-player. You had like a Rambo guy in the red, and then the blue-banded guy. Ikarai Warriors, SNK released in 1986, was originally intended to be an official licensed adaptation of the film Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Yeah, I knew that.
However, SNK were initially unable to acquire the rights to the film. Japan's second highest grossing table arcade of 86 and London's third highest grossing arcade game that year.
London
Also, a major breakthrough US release for SNK, ranking among America's top 5 highest-grossing dedicated arcade games for 2 years in a row, 86 and 87.
Man,
it's a great game.
Back when arcades were the thing.
The thing.
I'd love to go to an arcade now. I know obviously you can go to places and pay like 30 quid for like unlimited for like 5 hours or whatever, but yeah, I think that's probably our next trip, John. That we'll find somewhere that does that.
They've got a big one in Milton Keynes. We'll have
they?
to, maybe that'd be the first time we could meet in the flesh.
That sounds like a great idea. I mean, having to go to Milton Keynes is the fucking downside. But...
There's one in Bradford though, a massive one.
Oh, you come up north, mate. Meet us in the middle.
Aye.
Yeah, we'll have to. Ours is attached to the National Cinema Museum thing, though. It's one of the few good things we've got in Milton Keynes. It's full of film memorabilia, like loads of Indiana Jones stuff. And
oh, right.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
You just don't want to come to Milton Keynes, do you?
Do we fuck?
It's like Escape from New York. You're going to come in little pods.
We'd end up like National Lampoon's European Vacation, stuck on a fucking roundabout. Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, National Film Museum. Anyway.
I've got no pride in my town. I've lived here 47 years. I've got no pride, so I'm not even going to fight back.
I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Back at the house, Karen and Paul are talking about Randy. Not about being Randy, although that does come into it for a little bit. He's not so sure, but she says he gets straight A's. He says he cares about the kid, Erica, like he's his own, and he's just looking out for her. But apparently he's avoiding telling Karen how he feels, and they've been together for 2 years, and she wants commitment. Now, this is evidently the first time they've talked about a commitment, and look what happens. The phone rings. Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. They head to the hospital, and Erica's had a cocaine overdose. She's been given this bag of fucking drugs by some goon at the arcade. I missed that. And whatever you do, don't share it with your boyfriend.
That was no goon.
Oh, who was that?
That was Tuvok for Voyager.
No, it's the other guy that gives it. It's the guy that gets murdered. Tuvok's there. I've got a Tuvok fact that will blow you both away.
The ears on the reel. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
She's under a cocaine overdose. She arrests, and the doctor gets the paddles on her, but with no luck. He doesn't really try very hard.
I know.
In my opinion, it's like he wanders around, and then he kind of jumps up on the table.
Give it
to give it the big. Yeah, there's not a lot of that, is there? It's just like, yeah, whatever. She's gone. Now, the whole time he's using these paddles, this screeching guitar is playing in the background. I thought Jimmy Page was back doing the soundtrack for a minute from the second one, but no.
Which was reused in 3, wasn't it? The soundtrack.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. Because I thought, oh, blimey, this is great. They've got him back in. No, they just used the offshoots.
Same one.
Yeah. Defibrillation, which is easy for me to say, is a treatment of life-threatening cardiac arrhythmias. A defibrillator delivers a dose of electric current, called a countershock, to the heart. This process depolarizes a large amount of the heart muscle, ending the arrhythmia. Subsequently, the body's natural pacemaker in the sinoatrial node of the heart is able to re-establish a normal rhythm. There you go. That's how that works.
There you go.
Magnets, how do they fucking work? Paul Kersey follows Randy to the boardwalk. He sees him accost the guy that sold Erica the drugs. Randy goes head to head with him, and he's really like up to 11. This acting is proper serious acting, isn't it? It was her choice, white boy. Randy threatens to go to the police and tell them everything. And he gets a stabbing for his troubles, doesn't he? Just one under the arm. All
right. Keep it light.
Kersey sees this and yells, "Hey!" before taking chase to the foot of a ladder. Mm-hmm. And then this guy runs up the ladder, and the next shot, Kersey comes over the top of the ladder. Because Bronson ain't going up no fucking ladder. He's not got the insurance.
Not by this stage, no.
No. And at the top of the ladder, he blammos him off the top onto the top of the dodgems, which fries him. And I thought, that's a really good death. That's a great statement for how these are going to go.
Mm-hmm. That's a
great
arguably,
kill. it is the best. It is the best, the most creative of the kills. But there's some fun ones coming up. There's some really fun ones coming up.
Kill of the week. Kill of the week.
It's very Dodgem cars, gentlemen, bumping cars, dodging cars, or dashing cars. The first patent for them was filed in 1921, and the overhead system uses a conductive floor and ceiling with opposing power polarities. Contacts under the vehicle touch the floor, while a pole-mounted contact shoe touches the ceiling, forming a complete circuit, which is what moves the car.
Did you find out if someone would actually die by being thrown on top of dodgems? Because that was one of the questions I was wondering. Would that do that?
I don't know, because he gets blammoed anyway, doesn't he? He gets shot anyway.
Oh yeah.
So he could be dead before even.
So I'm He'd be dead before his head even hits the ceiling.
He's got a few cremation.
I didn't look at that. I didn't look at that.
Dead
I guess
and buried.
You can't Google if a man shot a guy and he landed on top of the dodgems, would he be electrocuted?
If you say it in a Danny Butterworth voice from Hot Fuzz, is it true that if you blammo a man onto the top of the dodgems, that he'll fray to death?
I hope your listeners can help us with that one, because I would love to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, if only we all had this tiny little computer that we could have in our hands and have a look. But we're busy doing a podcast here, listeners. You tell us. You tell us. Drop Paul a message on Instagram. It won't look fucking weird at all.
Just be yeses coming through. Yes.
We now meet Detectives Rayner and Detective Phil Nazaki. Right.
Yes.
So, Phil Nazaki,
the
character actor that's in absolutely everything, was really weird, because I was trying to figure out, was he just transferred from Tokyo PD or what? Because he's got this really thick accent.
It's thick, yeah. Which is climatised in some way. But
which seems really, really strange. This onlooker says he saw a blue Tornado drive away. Last three digits are 226. And the guy says, anything else? And he's like, you're the fucking cops. I'm not doing your job for you.
That's quite good. Quite right.
But to be honest, cops need all the help they can get in these movies, because they're never any good.
In this universe, Bronson is the only form of justice, really, isn't he?
That's right, yeah. Sometime later, Kersey arrives home in his blue Tornado to find a note through his door. It says something like, I know who you blammoed last summer.
I know you did, right. Yeah.
That is a great title for a film.
It's another comic for you.
I need to write that one down.
It needs to be him. It needs to be your man from Taken. And they've all I don't know, shot somebody. They all shot at the same time, but only one bullet killed them, and they don't know who. It's a murder mystery. It's great. It's possibly got Poirot in it. I don't know. You figure it out. You're the creative genius, not me. It's the new Knives Out. That's what it is. The phone rings. Did you get my note? We should meet. If you refuse, I'll tell the police what I know, and I know a lot. The voice on the line tells him to get in the limo outside, which takes him to a very large posh house where he meets with a bloke who I was absolutely adamant was Ted Turner, the TCM guy, the Turner Classic Movies guy. I was adamant it was. I assume he wants to put all the old Charles Bronson films into colour, and that's why he's called him over.
It looked like the Big Lebowski house.
It did look very much like with the yeah. You know he's posh because he's got a turret.
Aye, and a rug with a pee on it.
Strong men also cry, Mr. Lebowski. Strong men also cry. This cat, right? So, we'll get into it when we get to the big fucking quote unquote reveal, right? Yep. But I've got so many problems with this character and this character's setup. Mm-hmm. But I've watched this film 3 times in the last 5 days. Right? I'm not kidding. I watched it again tonight while I was doing my notes, just because it's so fucking stupid, and I was certain I'd missed a million things. This guy is Nathan White. And just the way he talks is really weird. He says, Mr. Kersey, or should I call you Mr. Vigilante? He doesn't even say vigilante. It says vigilante. And I'm like, mate, the E isn't silent.
Yeah. And he is quite vigilant.
He is indeed. He's a newspaper magnate, and he wants Kersey to kill somebody for him. After his wife died in a car crash, his daughter was his whole life, until she became a cocaine addict. 3 months ago, she died of an overdose. He knows that Kersey shot the pusher that sold Erica the drugs. But what about the people behind them? You know, and he's obsessed. He says, I've spent great expense of buying information on the people behind the drugs in LA. And he throws Kersey this brown folder that he claims is bursting with info. But it's just a little, like, brown, like, open paper folder. And there can't be any more than, like, 2 or 3 bits of paper in that at all.
Canon were on a budget, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Mate,
Even on
A4 paper don't cost that much. You could buy a ream of paper and put a laggy band round it. And then you throw it onto the desk and it makes a great noise. Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah. Kersey tells him he needs to think about it. We're at Erica's funeral and Karen explains she feels guilty, being too busy with work. Kersey says, I've been there. I've murdered so many people. He says, it's not your fault Erica died. It's those damn drugs.
Just say no.
It's not your fault Zammo died.
Exactly. Roland.
He says, you're a writer. Write about it. And I'm like, okay.
Did we get K-Lens? That K-Lens?
Oh, no, I haven't done too much with her, actually. She was very young. Another very young.
Oh, yeah, she was half his age.
She made... Yeah, that's standard, isn't it, for Bronson?
Oh, God, yeah.
But she made 2 absolute bangers, Grindhouse films, Stripped to Kill, where she played a police woman who has to go undercover as a stripper.
Oh, right.
And she was also in House. So I just throw that one in.
Oh, House is a great film.
Yeah,
House is a great film.
Yeah,
not the it's never lupus. It's never lupus bloke. Yeah. Oh, House is a great movie.
House is. I prefer House too.
She goes to see her boss.
And she was married. Sorry, she was married to David Cassidy. K-Lens.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, there you go. She goes to see her boss, right? And she's like, I want to do something about drugs. And he just goes, nobody cares. Everyone uses drugs nowadays. It's the new American way of life now. She goes, but it's important to me. He goes, oh, well, go on then. Fucking hell. Like, come on. The movie's only an hour and fucking 50 minutes long. Like, give us another 2 minutes. Give us another 2 minutes on this. Or give us an extra scene later on.
Yeah.
It barely holds up any argument. She then goes to the coroner's office to see some corpses. And she says, but only want to see the corpses where drugs were involved. And he goes, well, that's all of them in LA. He says, this 18-year-old male died when his pipe exploded in his face. Okay, I'll give you that one. It's drugs. 19-year-old male robbed a liquor store to get money to buy drugs. Well, he was shot. That's robbery.
Yeah,
so,
perfect shot. Didn't shoot him in the face, just shot him directly in the head.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Kind of, it's like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. He can't have an open casket now, can he? 17-year-old female had a stroke. I'll give you that. That's drugs. A 13-year-old girl was selling herself to support the habit. One of her customers slashed her throat. I mean, that's prostitution and murder. You know, she was only 13 years old. She goes, but they're all children. Yes, Karen, and only half of them died from drugs.
that 13-year-old looked like an older Carl Ann, didn't she?
Oh, she did a little bit, yeah.
What the fuck? They just dragged her back for this movie?
They just took the corpse out of the refrigeration for the Carol Ann actor, didn't they? Surely dead by this point. It's a bit too soon. A bit too soon to make jokes about dead children, isn't it?
Is it?
Step into the light, Karen. Yeah.
What have we had on there? White supremacy and murder.
Oh, we've had the fucking lot, mate. Yeah, yeah. It's the podcast. 9/11's coming shortly. It always does. Tick full as talk, full as tick full as talk. Back at the arcade, Karen approaches the dealer Jesse. Now, this is Tuvok from Voyager.
Yeah.
But lads, this will. If you don't know this, you'll love this. If you know it, it's a great reminder. He is the Spaceball combing the desert in Spaceballs.
Oh, shit.
That is exactly who he is.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there you go. That's good, isn't it?
That's good.
I didn't get that one. That's amazing.
No. She's after information, not drugs. The only drug she needs is this massive corn dog that she's gnawing on.
Oh,
You see
no,
the size of
Jesus
this?
Christ.
Fucking some work. Corn dogs, gentlemen, date back to the 1930s in fairgrounds in America. It's a sausage, it's covered in cornmeal batter, and it's deep fried.
Ooh, sounds lush.
Yeah, they're all right. In Canada, they're called pogos. In France, they are beignets de saucisse, literally
nice.
sausage donut. In Japan, they are called American dogu, or American dog. And in
Nice.
Australia, they are called Pluto pups, or Dagwood dogs. That's a funny name. I'd have called them Carn dogs.
We don't have them yet over here, do we? We haven't even got
We
corn
did for a
dogs.
little while. You could get them frozen in Asda for a little while. They were
right.
rank. They were rank. You want them big and huge and artery
fresh.
clogging. Like it's
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah, fresh.
You can't tell me any American food's fresh.
What, the lips and fresh.
Lips and arseholes. I could make my own, but I don't think anyone would eat it. Back at White's house, we learned the drugs in LA are sold by two gangs. Ed Zacharias and the Romero brothers. He hands him everything he needs, biographies, photos and leads. Again, in this tiny, thin folder. I've done longer fucking PowerPoints than are in this folder.
You've got more notes for this show than he did in that bloody folder.
That's exactly right. Paul's got a little lever arch file that he keeps opening that you can't see, listeners. And it's got drugs equal bad written on it somewhere. A year ago, the brothers started a gang war and a truce was sorted, but the fuse is lit. Kersey demands weapons and no interference, and he says, I can put you in touch with a guy. So here I was expecting this fantastic Q branch bit. You know, like a Bond Q branch bit.
Yeah.
And we didn't get it. Like
He already did the water PPK, so give me the fucking car.
the car that goes invisible. Ugh.
They can only afford 3 pieces of A4 paper. They can't afford a car, can they?
The detectives say that the slug in the dealer was the same type found in a body 2 years ago from the vigilante. The cops head to the firm to see Paul. And he is so evasive, it's unbelievable. Every question they ask. Where were you last Tuesday evening? Oh, I finished here about 6 and the traffic was bad. This meandering story. It's like old Grandpa Simpson going, I used to tie an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time. And so you were at home, as far as I remember. It's like, don't be a dick towards the cops. Yeah. He's not being helpful and the cops plan to find out more. Kersey set up a thought board for Ed Zacharias' gang as part of the mobsters piece that he's working on. His first trip is to Ed Zacharias' party, and he's working the bar.
Yeah. Oh, you're working it all right.
In disguise of the fucking film, a waistcoat and a dicky bow. Fantastic. And someone goes, oh, we're out of ice. I'll go get some today. And it's just like, bum, 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 bum. There was a bottle of Canada Dry on the bar. I saw that. Canada Dry, soft drink company launched in Toronto, Canada A in 1904. And in 2008, it was bought out by Dr. Pepper Snapple, which I think might be a character out of Sesame Street. The dry in the brand's name refers to not being sweet, as in a dry wine. When John J. McLaughlin originally made his new soft drink, Canada Dry Pale Ginger Ale, it was far less sweet than other ginger ales on the market, and as a result, he labelled it dry.
There you go.
That's it. He heads into this room to basically plant a fucking bug in the phone, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He takes that thing off the receiver. Oh, he's pottering about doing this, putting this bug in the phone. Zacharias is blowing out the candles on his question mark sexy cake.
Titty cake, yeah. Anybody want some nipple?
The rival gang brothers Romeros have come to the party as well. The gang head inside, and they end up killing this guy, don't they? He's been skimming off the top. He's been blaming the Colombians, and he's been skimming drugs off the top. So they kill him. And then all of a sudden, there's a clatter from the toilet. and it's basically Kersey's made a class. But he spotted the murder in this guy. And did you see his face? His face when he sees the murder in this guy is like, oh, like he's never seen somebody killed, let alone, you know,
He's killed
like murdered fucking yeah, absolutely. He's murdered like 300 people across 3 movies at this point. Like he's pretending it doesn't. It shocks him, and then he shuts the door, and they hear the door shut. So he goes over and opens the door. What are you doing? I was just using the toilets. Shit excuse for being found. Number 1.
Taking a shit.
Yeah. You might want to give it a minute.
I am dead.
Light a match.
Right before you go on, did anybody notice who Jack Romero is?
Was that the one with the beard or the Italian-looking one?
The beard.
No,
oh, right.
didn't get that one.
It looked a bit like Seth. What's his name? Seth Rogen.
As I seen in RoboCop, where a guy's holding up that liquor store. Fuck me, fuck me.
No, is it really?
That's him,
fuck
mate.
you, fuck me. Oh my god! What a fucking spot that was,
as
John.
I saw it, I was like, that's the most famous guy in that fucking film. Apart from Bronson, obviously.
Wow.
Aye.
Wow. Good spot, mate. Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
I wrote down Perp that holds up the liquor store in Trouble.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a guy.
He knows how to find a safe, doesn't he? Just kick all the cans out and the safe's
Oh, yeah.
How did I put any money away in that safe? I know we've done RoboCop. We spent 3 hours talking about RoboCop, I'm sure. But how did they do that?
It's not very practical trying to get your money in there in a rush, is it? Having to take all the cans down one by one and fill them.
There were cans. Yeah. So they take him aside, and he basically says, "What's your name?" It's something like Chet or something, isn't it? It's Ed or something really fucking nondescript. And he says, "Oh, how about making some money? If you can keep your mouth shut, you can make some money." I like money. You know, it's like what's his name out of Idiocracy? I like money. And he says, "Help him carry the body to the car," and he gives this goon like a little bit of a look, and the goon knows that's a murdering Kersey look. So Kersey's about to get murdered. As this goon's about to give him a hit, he goes at him with a tire iron. So he hits him with a tire iron, and then slams his head with the car boot. To be sure, it's a decent way to do it. Mm-hmm. And then next up, Kersey's at this Italian restaurant to take out 3 more of the high up goons. He's posing as a travelling wine salesman? Question mark.
Yeah. With his James Bond style bottle.
Yeah.
Now, he has to put the label on this bottle. Like, why has he not done all this before?
That's what
Why is the label going on now?
Oh, they don't have to set the timer though? Because they've done something to it.
Oh, he sets the timer, then he puts the bottom on, the fake bottom on, and then he puts the stick. Right, okay, got you. Yeah. He's Jack Kimball. Another pointless name.
I know.
When he's already got a really good pseudonym, which he brings back later on in the movie. He goes in and he's chatting up this fucking barman. You know, have you ever been to Napa? Oh, well, try this wine. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. And he's like, I'll give your customers a free drink. And he's like, no, mate, they're goons. Hired goons. Don't even think about it. And he's like,
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, I know.
Little baby Danny Trejo.
So young.
Tiny baby Danny
With one tattoo, I bet. One tattoo.
Just one tattoo is plenty. He goes over to see them, and Danny Trejo recognises him from somewhere, doesn't he? It's Sanilla, he's called. And he says, no, you don't know me. I'm from Boise, Idaho. Okay, Boise. Boise is the state capital of Idaho. Population as of 2020 of 235,486. Boise is the site of the only human rights memorial in the USA, the Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial, because Americans famously don't believe in human rights. Also, as we know, Boise was Del Boy's mate in Only Fools and Horses.
Exactly. All right, now, boy. Marlene.
Marlene, I'm in Idaho. He throws water at Sanilla to get him away, doesn't he? Sanilla grabs him. He throws a glass of water at him and makes a run for it before the bottle explodes. But, and Paul, you sent me this, so I had to look at it on my version, and I've taken a photo for John here. Between the two shots, you spotted this, which I'm just going to lift up to show John. I don't know if you can see that, John, but that's who they blow up. Look at those dummies. Plastic mannequins. That's who they blow up. Yeah.
Jesus,
look at him.
I've never even noticed that. That's horrific.
It's horrific. Listeners, I'll put this on the socials so you can see this. They're replaced by Madame Tussauds Finest that they blow up. And Danny Trejo's dummy looks like fucking Ringo Starr, doesn't he?
That is pretty fucking bad. I thought you'd try and get something at least looks like him.
Look at him. It's fucking, it's chronic. Bad. It's absolutely chronic. And they're not even seated in the same places that the actors were seated. It's so bad.
Oh, God.
Like, I couldn't stop looking at it. And
you must have paused that perfect time.
Well, Paul got it and saw it. And I would have seen it on the second viewing. But I had to pause it to show Rachel. And she just went, What is that? And I went, that's canon. That is canon movies for you, babe. That's exactly what
That's horrific.
Yeah. There's some pretty fucking bad bits in this film that should get cut out. Anyway, he explodes them. We get another kill in here. And it's Kersey looking at the border photos while we hear Nathan White describing people. It's a more ADR setup for each scene. It's not very good, but it does move us along to lads getting murdered, which, as men in our 40s, we love. So
That's what you want.
Mo Green is next. I mean, Max Green. Whatever you do, don't get him mixed up with a baddie from a much better The Godfather. Do not get him mixed up with Mo Green. Who has a great death, by the way, because Mo Green gets fucking killed getting a massage, doesn't he? So
Shot in the eye, didn't he? Shot in the
Oh, yeah, so he does. Yeah, so he does. Fucking love it. Max Green, however, runs a video shop, which I know, Paul, you've been specifically looking forward to talking about this bit.
Yeah. I love that video shop. Yeah, it's heaven on earth, that place to me.
Perfect opportunity to see more shitty Canon films.
More Canon films than
What were your favourite Canon films that you spotted, lads? Anything in particular?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
That was
right.
One I saw.
Now,
the standee that's behind Bronson, because there's a little bit
gorgeous.
Where it's like product placement, obviously, because I don't know if Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was around that time, but Bronson stands and looks at some videotapes, and the Leatherface is perfectly placed behind him. Cinema heaven for me.
Just watching it. I recently watched, and I think, John, you know this, a couple of months ago, I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 for the first time. And I've got to be honest, it's so bad, it's ruined Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me.
Oh.
It's so bad. The only thing it's got going for it is Hopper up to 100.
Oh, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
No, it did. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 is horrifying.
Yeah.
Especially if you see it on the big screen. It's so scary. But the second one is so stupid, it's unbelievable.
But it's like exactly what you wanted from a canon Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They gave you it.
I guess, but I didn't really ask for a canon Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think
you didn't know you wanted this.
Yeah, no, I didn't know what to do. John, notice any other films?
Forced Witness, which I couldn't find anywhere.
Yeah, I couldn't find Forced Witness either. I found Witness as the cops leave later on. It's got Witness. You know the
one with
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, and telling
Back to the
you
Future's in
didn't
there as well.
kill her. Oh, was it really? Oh,
yeah, 2 Back to the Future. When he walks past it, and then when the cops walk out later, it's like almost product placement. So I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, they
Canon
probably
got some extra money. Yeah,
couple of quid out for it. I got basically the best of the worst films for you here, lads. America 3000. These are all Canon films, of course. The film is set in a post-apocalyptic Colorado 900 years after a nuclear war between the Soviet Union and the United States. This film did so poorly, I cannot find out how much it cost, I cannot find out how much it made, which means it didn't make any money.
That's bad.
But one of the stars, and I remember this from watching Electric Boogaloo, I ran out of time to watch the Canon story Electric Boogaloo, which is one of my favourite documentaries about film.
Definitely.
The star of it, she's got a VHS copy, and she just sets it on fire when she's being interviewed. I can't remember what she's called. Field of Honor, 1986, a Dutch film about the Korean War, question mark. The film got a negative review in the Dutch communist newspaper, De Waarheid. And today, John, we learned that there's a communist newspaper in what country?
The Netherlands.
Breakdance the movie, gentlemen, which I guarantee at least one of us has seen Breaking. Cost $1.2 million to make and made $38 million.
Lucinda Dickey.
Yeah. Famously referenced, of course, in the bet between Loki and Bartleby at the start of Dogma. Because Loki's adamant that it's going to make more money than E.T. in the long run.
He's in it for a long haul.
Absolutely. And obviously, the Electric Boogaloo is Breaking 2, is the subtitle of Breaking 2. Camorra, brackets, a story of streets, women, and crime. Get a load of this plot. Hostel owner Anna Zutsia, Angela Molina, is attacked, but before her assailant can sexually assault her, the man is killed.
Why didn't they put Bronson in that?
The killer plunges a hypodermic needle into one of the rapist's testicles and escapes before Anna Zutsia is able to identify them. This soon becomes the signature of a serial killer who appears to be targeting drug dealers.
I'm on eBay ordering that one right now.
I mean, it's basically this film, but with testicles.
The testicular.
Yeah. I also couldn't find The Naked Face or Supervision 3D. As much as I looked for them.
Did you get Salome? Salome? That was another poster that was in that room. Do you know anything about that? I only got the title.
No, I've heard the title. I don't know anything about it.
A Naked Face with Roger Moore?
The Naked Face. Oh, was that Roger Moore? Was it? I saw The Naked Face, but it's not. It's the inventor of the Magnum from the Deathwish 3 episode that we talked about.
And the only one we missed back in the store was an After Hours thing hanging off the, Scorsese's After Hours.
Oh, good spot.
Hanging off the ceiling.
Oh, wow. Excellent. So he goes in to the back of this office full of Canon movie posters where Golan and Globus have just gone. What have we got in the back? Let's dress the set with whatever we've got in the back.
Everything, they just had shit everywhere.
And Max Green is there. He has this argument with him about selling drugs to kids. He says, so what you're saying, if you didn't do it, somebody else would? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly it. He then throws a bag at him before blowing him and his goons away with this silenced fucking Uzi. Like, it's the first time I've ever seen a silenced Uzi. That's for sure.
That's badass.
The cops are following the case, and the chief says to stake out Boggs, Romero's best man, because he'll be next. The chief tells the detectives to stop following Mr. Vigilante because it can't be him. Next up is Boggs, who lives in Nakatomi Plaza, I think.
Yeah. No, I thought it was one of the condos for is it a Candyman?
Oh, Candyman. Or that bit from the beginning of Lethal Weapon, which, again, we'll come to in a moment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we will. Again.
The line from Nathan is, he has a trained baritone voice.
Yeah.
Which never comes up again. It comes to nothing.
And
he doesn't sing. He's not. I mean, he's interested in the opera, but nothing. It doesn't matter one fucking jot. That.
And it doesn't do Bronson any good either, does it? How's that going to help him kill him?
Maybe the scene's deleted. But I find it hard to believe there's any scenes deleted from this.
Maybe he wrote my packet of lockets because he had a sore throat and put poison in
I've got a baritone fact.
Oh, go on.
That. It's the baritone is the Greek for heavy sounding.
Oh, that's good. Well done. Famous baritones, gentlemen. Michael Bublé, Frank Sinatra, David Bowie.
I wish Bronson would kill Bublé.
Well, I've got someone else for him to kill. Misery Guts Morrissey. That would be good.
Is Morrissey a baritone?
Yeah, apparently. According to internet.
I bloody love the Smiths. You're upsetting me tonight with the Shining and the Smiths.
He's a prick.
You love the Smiths.
He's an absolute prick, but I love the Smiths. Yeah.
He flirts with white supremacy, doesn't he?
Does he? We should get him on this podcast.
I was just going to say the pot calling the kettle black.
We should do. We could do American History X, couldn't we? Mississippi Burning. Mississippi Burning with Morrissey Burning. I'm
sure he'd be up for that.
I'm sure he would. He'd do anything for money, won't he? Anything for a few bob. He's getting ready for this show, and he calls his woman fat, and then he tells her she looks like shit. He's a charming character. They continue to argue as they get in the lift. Kersey comes out.
He says she looks like a rooster as well, doesn't she?
Yeah,
I wrote down her insults. Yeah, because you eat like a damn horse, and you look like a giant rooster.
Yeah.
All in that little time.
Kersey picks the lock to the apartment and goes in to bug the apartment. Downstairs in the car, they continue to argue about the opera. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. He says you did. She says, yeah, and you came in last.
Yeah, that was a great line.
It's a great insult. It's a very good insult. Boggs has forgotten the tickets and heads back upstairs. Wait, Kersey's taken a seat to put this bug in the receiver. He's taking his time, isn't he? He's absolutely in no rush whatsoever. He's like, hey, this is a pretty swanky pad.
In the shape Bronson's in, he probably requested that, didn't he?
If you want to bug a phone, gentlemen, you bug a room anyway. UKspygear.com, no really, has some really mental stuff, including a double USB wall socket with a camera in it, $139.99. And a Nokia 3310 that will silently record conversations when you ring it.
Fuck off.
And that's $59.99.
All you'll get is records of people going, no way, I had that phone when I was younger. You have that phone? That was a cracking phone. Try and smash it, have something, see what happens.
The battery used to last for forever.
I know.
People are going, what's your high score on Snake? I bet I can beat it.
Play Snake. They better have had Snake on it, because if there's no Snake on it, it's not going to be believable. People will try and play Snake on it.
Is that something that's currently on sale?
It's currently on sale on spygear.com.
How conspicuous would you look with a Nokia 3310 nowadays?
2003 called and it wants its spy phone back.
Unless you were some sort of hipster or something.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of them. Although you can go to a festival and not have to charge your phone. That'd be quite nice.
They're awesome phones. Can't put them down.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Agreed.
Boggs walks in and Kersey's cowering in the kitchen. And he goes, what the fuck are you doing here? I was making a sandwich.
That's fucking brilliant, isn't it?
It's probably my favourite line of the film.
It's atrocious. A bloke in a Charles Bronson wig and a bomber jacket has a roll around with Boggs.
Yeah.
And then he throws a dummy that looks a bit like Boggs off the balcony.
Oh, that's the worst mannequin death I've ever seen.
And it falls onto the car in a much less convincing fashion than Lethal Weapon.
I love mannequin deaths when the legs are just flopping.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what's happening here, because you can see there's no weight to it at all. It's fucking atrocious. The cops were staking out the place, and one heads in to search for Kersey while Phil spots him leaving and getting in his car. But he tells his partner he didn't see anything. Intriguing. Kersey goes to the pictures and he meets Nathan. We learn that Zacharias uses a canning factory as a front for the drugs. So Kersey takes up a job there with this cool metal lunch pail.
I know.
Which
like him and Munster's lunch in it.
Exactly right.
He's got an Uzi in it, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. He heads straight to the back of the factory, and this guy goes, "You're not supposed to be." He goes, "I don't know. I was just hired." And they just fucking belts this guy in the face.
Do you know who that guy is?
No.
Oh, for fuck, it's got to be he's the guy in the white coat. He was the baddie in Shocker, right? But he was also Mulder and Scully's boss in X-Files.
Oh, Skinner.
You're good at this,
Skinner?
aren't you?
Yeah, fucking hell, mate.
I didn't notice
I'm
that.
expecting him to ruin a magician's tricks for us next. Remember that show?
God,
and that's how he really did this trick. I'm surprised I'm surprised the Magic Circle didn't fucking take him out. They didn't send Kersey to fucking blammo in.
I know, shit.
Another masterful disguise from Kersey as well.
He's
grey shirt. You think that all of these drug rings would say this bloke has got a really weird handlebar moustache and
this distinctive-looking old man, this pensioner.
Look out for him, but no one ever does.
No, they don't. They don't make any effort whatsoever. You're right. He takes an Uzi out of his lunch pail because he's about to do a drive-by South Central. This is San Pedro, by the way. San Pedro was named after St. Peter of Alexandria. The feast day is November the 24th, which is the day in which Juan Rodriguez Calebro first encountered the San Pedro Bay in 1542. The city pioneered tuna canning in 1903. And it was home to canneries for brands like Starkist and Chicken of the Sea.
Chicken in the sea.
It's the chicken of the sea.
I feel
the only
like
thing
chicken
I
in the
can,
sea.
yeah, the only thing I can tell you about Jessica Simpson is that she was Daisy Duke and that she was the chicken of the sea. It's like tuna because it was the chicken of the sea. He approaches this restricted section where this van's just gone in, and this bloke comes in. He's like, "You don't belong in there." He says, "I was told to put this in there." And he goes, "What, your lunch?" And then he just welts him in the face with this metal lunchbox.
With a lunchbox.
Inside, they're taking cocaine packets out of the fish and processing it.
Yeah.
So basically, the fish are in on this, I think, is what's happening. It's like the fish are the drug mules, aren't they?
They know.
Kersey's having none of it and blows everyone away in the room, and almost everybody dies in slow motion because it's that bad.
And all the drugs were in sweetie containers meant for the 80s. They had them in the big
Oh,
sweetie
they
jars.
were!
Like, what the fuck's that all about?
I quite felt sorry for all those goons because they looked like they were just doing a really productive work day. That little guy standing all the packs. They didn't even look like thugs. They just got like really normal looking people, didn't they?
Then he gets Robocopped.
Yeah, and then he just comes in and just like decimates them because they killed a work experience girl whose drawings he didn't like.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much the plot of the film.
Yeah. Kill any Griswold.
Outside, the tannoy is screaming, and the guy goes, $1,000 to whoever gets this guy. And I thought, that can't be a lot of money. Today's money, $2,777.23.
But surely that tannoy was going out to the normal employees who were working in the cannery that wouldn't know that there was a drug thing going on in the back. Imagine getting that tannoy message just out of the blue.
Get that guy for $1,000. Yeah.
But these guys are on
anybody, wouldn't you?
minimum wage, so absolutely, just like $1,000. Yeah, absolutely. That'll pay my rent for 2 months. He's trying to escape, and all these guys are trying to get them. And I think at this point the director's gone, "So Chuck, in this scene, we want you to push aside a load of metal shelves on wheels, yeah? Okay, but don't make them heavy. You got it." He pushes these things so slowly and softly, and I think he thought they were going to be either sped up or slowed down, because the guys that he pushes them into, they go down like a sack of spuds, don't they?
Did they not smash their heads through car doors and stuff like that as well? I'm sure.
Yeah, and there's a cardboard door. There's a cardboard fucking door drive-through in a minute as well. Yeah, in this truck. It's so funny. He grabs the truck and gets away. Detective Phil is in his office. He circles Kersey's name on a list and bites his thumb. That's to show he's thinking. At Zacharias' place, Detective Phil tells Ed that he knows who killed Boggs, but not who he works for. Ed tells him to kill Kersey. "I don't do that. You do now." Oh, he's a bad copper. Oh, now worse. That night at the office, Detective Phil approaches Kersey and says he knows who killed Boggs. He pulls down a gun and puts a silencer on it. And he has a message of distress from Zacharias, he says. He doesn't want to kill him, just to know who he's working for. He says, "I can make it really painful. I can be really nasty if I want to be." And with this gun hidden under the desk, Kersey gets him in the chest and he goes, "So can I."
Perfect heart shot.
Yeah. The next morning, the chief calls Rayner, the other cop, and tells him they've found Phil's body. Rayner knows he found out who the vigilante is, so he found the circled name on the list. He knows he's the vigilante. We recap the first 2 films now, as to who he's killed and what he's done and why. There's no mention of the girl young enough to be his daughter that he was fucking in the 3rd one, and not a single mention of the 700 lads that he murdered in 3 either. That doesn't come into it. Little reminder that we got some fun stuff through the post, which I've shown you guys already, but I can show anybody watching on the video. Loads of Charles Bronson related and Deathwish related stuff from a guy who just randomly hit me up on Reddit called Majestic Melons Edna Co. Majestic spelt with a K, of course, Paul. Who does a lot of design stuff, and he's created some Deathwish pogs, which I absolutely love, and you're trying to fight me for. Some stickers on Breakout, a Christmas card which says Charles Bronson in "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus," which is a nice hark back to the first movie. Yeah, it's really good, really good. There's loads of great stuff. A Chatto's Land Keep Out thing, which kind of a bit racist today, but yeah, some really good stuff. So thank you to that person who posted stuff from America and doesn't have anything to promote, just wanted to share some stuff with us because he knows how much we all love Charles Bronson. So
Chuck.
So go and follow that person on Reddit. They are called, once again, Majestic Melons Edna Co. Get them on the Charles Bronson subreddit, which is a thing, would you believe? The Charles Bronson subreddit.
He's obviously a big Mr. Majestic fan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great film, of course he is.
Yeah. Is that Michael Winner?
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, I think so.
Have you ever done that one? That's a great one.
No. We've stopped doing Michael Winner films because they're all fucking. He was a horrible Jeff Crumb or whatever he called. Jeff Crumb, the fucking cinema rapist or whatever he was called. Anyway, away from him. He was an awful human being. Zacharias calls the Romeros for a meet. The oil fields at 5 o'clock. Kersey, of course, is listening on a car phone. So architecture and gang murder really pays because in 1987 he can afford a car phone. At the oil field, the cars arrive and Kersey's on the hill with a sniper rifle. Camping bastard.
I fucking hate the guys. Fucking camper.
The oil field, gentlemen, is called the Los Angeles City Oil Field and is 4 miles long and a quarter of a mile wide. It was discovered in 1890 and in 2019 was producing 3.5 barrels of oil per day. Now it's estimated there is no oil remaining.
So no,
I take my straw and I drink your milkshake. Those oil pump jacks, by the way, I like those. Oil pump jack, which is Paul's name down the docks.
That's what he drinks for Aldi.
How do they work? It's a pressure system that pumps a rod down the chamber, like a piston, causing pressure to propel the oil to the surface. There you go. Zacharias is telling the brothers as they arrive that someone's playing them off against one another, and Kersey starts shooting. The gangs mostly finish one another off, which I quite like.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
But Kersey's there to blow up some barrels that a guy hides behind that say flammable.
That one guy, I'm like, why just single him out?
Yeah. Eddie's running for miles, shouting. I thought he was shouting Mick at first, but he's going Nick.
It's really bizarre, that scene.
It's really strange. Now, I'm not suggesting I'm struggling with the story of Deathwish for the Crackdown, but who the fuck was Nick?
I don't know, but it became really important at that point, didn't it? And I was like,
yeah.
It's his makeup artist. That's it.
And again, more characters that we don't know and are not important and don't actually have names coming up. He eventually takes him out with a shot to the knee. It's really good shooting. After about a week of slowly walking down the hill, Paul approaches Zacharias. Who are you? I'm the guy who set you up. Why?
Should have said I'm Death.
Yeah, he should have done. It's perfect.
That'd have been better.
He shows her a picture of Erica. I don't even know the girl. I do. And then shoots him.
She was work experience.
Yeah. I was only paying her expenses.
YDS.
I was paying her mother in kind.
Probably.
Yeah. Nathan's on the phone. He's read about the deaths and now he wants to talk to Paul about something. Meet me at the Towers at Brentwood Golf Course at 8. When he arrives, White isn't there. The driver tells Kersey to get in the limo. Oh. When he gets in, another car arrives. He gets in the car and leaves him fucking locked in the limo, doesn't he?
Fucking hell.
How did Kersey fall for that fucking trick? I lost respect for him in that scene because
is that why? All went to shit. The veil lifting to me. This guy's a thick of shit.
In that one moment.
Struggling to get out, he shoots the back windscreen out because he hasn't got an automatic equaliser window cutter. And he dives for it, and then the car blows up. At White's, Kersey forces his way in past this butler for some reason, and an old man is there. He says, "I'm Nathan White." He says, "Who was the man who was here last week?" "No one. I've been in Europe for 3 months."
Fucking hell.
Kersey close up. He has been proper tucked up, hasn't he?
Like a kipper. Like a kipper.
Driving home, he gets pulled over by the patrol cops. They find his gun and say they're taking him downtown in the car. And he's looking and goes, "If you're taking me downtown, why are we going west?" It's kind of like, okay. And then there's this bit, he's like, "Hey, I know you. You're from the Palisades or something, isn't it?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's where you know me from." And then he just kicks out the metal grate between the back and the front of the car, which causes the cops to crash and run up the back of another car.
Yep, and flip.
Or was it the blatantly visible ramp that they drive up that's on the back of the car? Did you lads see this?
Yeah.
There's a fucking ramp at the back of this car that causes this car to go up over it. Because it has to have a ramp, because science doesn't work that way. Physics and gravity do not work that way. One of them escapes, but another cop's dead. But OAP Charles Bronson survives, of course. He grabs the keys to the cuffs and the cop's gone. In an office, the man that we know as White is actually a drug dealer that's taken over all the drugs in town now the others have gone. And at this point, not this point, a little bit later on, I went back to this point because I've missed the guy's name.
Ferrari?
What?
Ferrari?
No, you don't miss his name at all because you never find out what he's called.
Oh, well, he's doing his Ferrari.
Oh, where did you have that?
Or fake Nathan White.
Yeah, because I've got fake Nathan.
So I've got fake Nathan. JP Ryan as Ferrari / fake Nathan White. So
right. Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Okay.
JP Ryan, while we're on that, was a very close friend of Jack Nicholson, who got a lot of his roles because of that. He was in a lot of big Jack Nicholson films like Postman Always Rings Twice, 5 Easy Pieces, Missouri Breaks.
Good films.
But Jack Nicholson's like that because Scatman Crothers, who was the caretaker in The Shining, was always that was kind of the way it works.
That is still one of the most shocking deaths in any film I've ever seen.
Scatman Crothers in Shining.
Yeah, where he, like, all the way, he makes that trip from Florida.
Yeah,
he gets in the car, he does all that, and then the second he gets in the hotel lobby, he gets the axe between the shots. It's perfect. It's so good. It's so good. And if it wasn't so shocking, it would be funny. Oh yeah, he sees all that shit. Yeah, but you don't see Jackie Boy with an axe. Fair point. He's afraid of Kersey, so he puts a plan in place. And the plan is to get Karen to come as part of her story so that he gets... We ain't found shit Spaceball to call her and offer to give her the info that she wants for her story. The film has just remembered that she's doing a story about drugs, and so have I, because I'd completely forgotten she was even a character. Yeah. When she goes to meet him, she gets taken. By the way, Paul, will you come back on later in the year and we'll finally do Liam Neeson's modern Deathwish in the shape of Taken?
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's one we've talked about, isn't it? I think we should definitely do Taken this year. In Paul's apartment, Detective Reiser's waiting for him, and he has him at gunpoint. He takes his weapon and says he's going to kill him for killing Phil. He says, "Your partner was dirty. He worked for Zacharias." He says he explains that he organised the whole gang war. He says Phil wasn't a dirty cop. Just then, the phone rings, and the answer machine is Karen.
She's scared. Scared, Paul.
She's very scared. And then fake Nathan says, "Do you want to end up dead like Erica?" "Yes, I was responsible. Meet me at the underground car park at the roller rink." Kersey answers the phone, but it's too late. It's rung off. Another weapon that's not a weapon smashes the fuck out of Reiser's face with this phone, doesn't he? Knocks him out. We get a mini tooling up bit and him driving as the cop wakes up. We're almost there now, listeners. Almost there. We're back on our underground car park now. because you've got to get the most out of your shooting budget, lads. Kersey pulls up and the gang are watching him in the car. The car slowly moves towards them and some goons get out of a van and start shooting it up. But when they check it's empty, in spite of the driver that you can see lying down in the car as it rolls towards them.
Because it rolls and then it turns a wee bit. So
yeah,
like,
and you can see a guy's head down there. It's really badly done.
But they're shooting through the windows and it's the most obviously empty car.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah.
It may have been tinted windows and it's very dark in that.
Except for the spotlights.
Yes, the spotlights. Everybody's singing Bohemian Rhapsody for no reason.
Just then, from the other side of the car park, there's a rocket launched which blammos most of the lads.
Yeah, from the submachine gun with rocket launch that he got from behind his fridge, which he talked about earlier.
He's
got like a little gun.
Oh yeah, he's got like a little arsenal behind the fridge. Yeah, fuck me.
Gets his noob tip it.
Fake Nathan White and another goon make a run for it to the roller rink. Gentlemen, this roller rink, it no longer exists.
Yeah.
The World on Wheels on 4645 Venice Boulevard in LA opened 1981 and shut in 2013 before being reopened in 2017 and closed in COVID.
Oh, bloody COVID.
I know. Roller discos became popular in the 80s and 90s, but were largely discontinued since 2006.
Oh, there's one in Derby, Roller World in Derby. It's been there since I was a kid.
Is it a roller derby?
Roller Worlds. Not for me. I can't even fucking stand up in shoes. Roller skates. There's some really good sound mix in here between the music, the sound of the skates, and Kersey and the goons one another. I really liked this.
At first I thought it was annoying, but it actually grew on maybe a bit.
There's a Mrs. Pac-Man game cabinet here, which gets absolutely destroyed. What's the difference between Mrs. Pac-Man and Pac-Man? Well, she has a bow on her head. Wayne's World references, everybody. Previous episode. Miss Pac-Man 1982 by General Computer Corporation and was originally going to be called Mrs. Pac-Man, but apparently the name Ms. Pac-Man is easier to pronounce? Question mark. I don't know. The place empties out and PK and Fake White are out on the rink. Fake White threatens to kill Karen. And again, some terrible writing. I swear to God I'll kill this bitch. You work for me. I gave you all that information. We're partners. Hang on a minute. Does he work for you or are you partners?
Aye. Let me know.
Kersey spots one last goon in that convex mirror that bus drivers use.
Yep.
You know?
Or people with Porsche driveways so they can see outside.
Yeah. He spins around and gets him. Outside, Fake White has dragged Karen to this brilliant filming location, by the way. This fantastic plaza, which is Fletcher Broran Square in Los Angeles. Kersey's still stalking them. And obviously, Fake White's got a little Uzi now, because Uzis are very popular. When Fake White spots Kersey, he shoots at him. Karen slaps him and runs away, but Fake White oozes the fuck out of her as she's running away.
Oh, God, aye.
It's brutal, isn't it, that?
It is really bad. Paul sees this. Fake White says, I told you, I warned you I'd kill her. And Kersey just explodes him on the spot.
Yep. Get noob right in there, fucking blemish smithereens.
Like nothing. And it's kind of like, and that's it. And that's like the death of that guy. It comes from nowhere. Just then the cops here rise. He pulls a gun on Kersey, who drops his gun and starts walking. I'm telling you, I'll shoot. Do what you have to do. And he walks away, and he finally looks absolutely fucking finished here. And rightly so. Because the woman that he doesn't want to tell he loves has just been fucking blammed.
Well, the fact, it didn't even, I know he didn't need to even go up to her and see she was still alive. It was just
no, he knows.
David Banner did right in the road.
He loves walking away to music, doesn't he? On Paul Kersey. By the way, it's some really funky and sexy sax music at the end of this. Which is all thanks to Michael Bishop, who you don't know, but you absolutely do know, gentlemen, because he's the guy that wrote Steal the Night for the film Bloodsport.
Oh, really?
And after the producers, Mark DeSalle, Yoram Globus and Menahem Golan couldn't secure the license for Everybody Wants to Rule the World for Tears for Fears, they used Steal the Night in Bloodsport, but they wanted Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Oh, didn't they? Well,
Yeah, never.
Have you ever
released
done
on Movie Central.
Bloodsport? That's a bad
No, we will. We absolutely will.
Mm.
We need to do some Van Damage, don't we?
Aye.
You need some Van Damage.
We need some fucking Van Damage.
Kickboxer and Bloodsport. Double bill.
Yeah. Absolutely. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Oh, double trouble.
Double team. Oh yeah.
Double Impact.
Double
That's the
Impact.
one.
That's what
That's
it's
it.
called. That's what it's called.
Cyborg. Cyborg's one of my favourite Van
Oh,
Damage.
Cyborg's good. Cyborg's good. Paul, that's me out of facts. What have you got?
Right. So yeah, George Dickerson was playing Detective Rayner.
Rayner, not Riser. Yeah.
Right, and he was also a detective. He was the main detective in Hill Street Blues that used to tell them all what to do in the morning.
Oh right. Oh wow.
Yeah, and he was also a detective in Blue Velvet. So that's a bit like Lynch's Blue Velvet.
Daddy wants to fuck. Yeah, of course. Great movie.
So Danny Trejo was in this film. Owns
And
his
7 million other films.
He owns his own. He owns his own chain of taco stores, Trejo's Tacos now, which is all over Los Angeles. But there's one in Portobello Road, which I am going to make.
Oh, is there
a
really?
mission to go.
Oh,
I want to go to Trejo's. Yeah. At some point in the film, somebody orders a screwdriver. I can't remember what point that was.
That is when they're at
he's a barman.
The barman bit, yeah.
Which is an orange juice and vodka. In the UK, it's known as a vodka and orange juice. Very creative.
Nice.
We did all the poster stuff. And Uzi there's so many Uzis in there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it was named after I found
Jeff
out it was
Uzi.
Major Uzi Gal, and he was an Israeli war general.
Oh wow! Right, okay.
The cinema that
Bronson
goes into to meet White was they were cutting down on the budget again, and that was the Cannon Theatre that they shown all of their. And there was two standees in there as well. I don't know if you noticed. Runaway Train, which was the first ever Cannon movie with John Voight.
Oh man!
Which was one of the it got 2 Academy Award nominations. It was like the only Cannon film that's ever had any sort of like
any traction.
That was written by Akira Kurosawa.
No, what?
Runaway Train, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, wrote a Cannon movie.
Jesus.
Oh wow! Wow!
And I think that's me. Yeah.
Okay, nice one.
Somebody mentions kazoo in there some point.
Oh yeah, shove a kazoo up your ass. Yeah,
right.
it's the baritone man. Yeah.
The first documented kazoo was invented in 1883 by Warren Herbert Frost. Out there, she's just got his questions now, so that was all we got. Who
was that a baritone kazoo though, John?
One of my questions was, who the fuck blows up a car next to a gas depot? So when he goes to take Bronson out, take it with a gas depot? That's the most fucking dangerous thing in the world. I enough killing one guy, never mind taking it the whole of fucking LA. Which is not a good thing right now.
Who the hell gets into a car in an empty car lot for a stranger and sits in the car, waits for the guy to get into another car and drive off? Exactly. There's so many questions, so little answers.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I've got, plenty.
Okay. One last thing: the biggest selling Canon VHS of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, which I quite liked. Yeah,
More than Deathwish 3.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I guess whoever was marketing it marketed it a lot better than the other one.
More than Cobra.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Absolutely.
Well, that's blown my mind. That one.
That's crazy, isn't it? Cocaine overdose, or according to Medline Plus Medical Encyclopedia, it's known as cocaine toxicity. Cocaine toxicity of our city. Symptoms: seizures, loss of urine control, bluish colour of skin, difficulty breathing, and death. Death. Right, that's all I've got. Paul, do you want to have a guess how we did?
I think we've done well. Whereas you've brought so much to the table tonight, haven't you, Parky?
You've done well, mate.
Well. So I reckon we've definitely done the 100. I reckon 103.
Oh, mate, you couldn't be further away from it.
No.
79.
What? I thought it was
You haven't been ticking them off.
I've been ticking them off, mate. 79.
To be fair, there's been more observations in this film than
we've got
why
fact checkers, and the fact checkers will be listening to this going, actually, it was 76 or something, because they always do. Every now and again, I'll get a message from somebody going, no, it wasn't 100, that was actually 83. Yeah, 79.
I suppose we did talk a lot about what was going on in the film, didn't we?
Yeah, don't be disappointed, because these movies are getting worse and worse, and the fact always remains.
People must know.
The worse the movie, the less facts that we get. It's always. It's just there's just this correlation of the two.
What's the least facts you've ever had on the movie?
Oh, it was back in the old days, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the first episode was like 30 or something. No, it was like 34 or something like that. So when we did The Crow again, we got like 102, didn't we? Because we figured it, like we figured out the formula by then of things to look for. And yeah, so The Crow's probably the worst. Until we do
as well.
Deathwish 5.
I know. I'm glad we've done it justice, because I felt really bad about doing that for the first
I didn't feel bad at all. I won't feel bad when we have to do The Crow 2, City of Crows.
The Crowing.
the City of Crows for episode 200.
Oh shit! I so do.
Yeah, so it's all right. We're about a year away from that, so it's fine. Paul, once again, tell the lovely people at home where they can buy your stuff, and do go away and buy his stuff, because it's so good. We've got loads of bits and pieces of yours in the house, haven't we?
I'll be sending you both a complimentary copy of Deathwish for Jason as well.
Oh, that's very good of you. So listen to that, listeners. There's only two. That's two less. So there's only 48 left.
48, yeah.
So you better get on that before they sell out.
There's additional copies of was it Jason versus Kramer versus Kramer?
versus Predator.
Highbrow. If I ever do it full time, I'm going to get you two as like ideas guys, because straight away.
In the words of Paul Kersey in the third movie, I wouldn't.
And then the second, marry me.
So tell us where we can get your stuff, Paul.
If you go Google at Evil Genuis Artworks, all lowercase, you'll find my Instagram and you'll find my Etsy store where you can buy all the stuff from.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. Go away and do that. And there'll be links in the
Thank you.
in the show notes as well for all the stuff that he does. He's a very talented man. He's also very funny, and so get on it. Give him your money. Give him all your fucking money. And he's the unofficial third member of this podcast.
Third member, exactly. When I go, there'll be.
When I go, fucking hell. Fuck's it! What are you in a relationship with Paul Kersey? Is that what we need to know? About to be fucking murdered.
He phoned me up and says, everything's going to be all right. That means I'm going to die.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking hell, the countdown is on, eh? But yes, if you want to give Paul some money, also give us some money. Give us a quid, and we will shout you out in every episode. Also, give you a chance to go on the wheel and get picked. As we say, Kieran's episode is next week when we do that, but I'm going to shout out these lovely people. We've got Phil. We've got my fantastic wife, who had to sit through this film twice and wasn't happy about it. We've got Gadget, Stig, Biggie, Oodles, and Candy from Modern Escapism. We've got Josh Wilson, super familiar with the Wilsons, Gavin and Dan from the Be There with Belson podcast, Gav McGill, Ian Graham, we've got Mono and Kira, we've got Joe and James from Hallmark of Greatness. This week on Hallmark of Greatness, we talked about the episode of Don't Tell the Bride, where the guy got the bride in a tank. It's fucking atrocious. It's one of the worst, most hateful things I've ever watched on TV. And we talk about it for an hour. It is horrible. It's a horrible, horrible fucking man who spends all his money on stuff that his dead granddad would have wanted and nothing that his future wife would have wanted. So yeah, but go away and listen to that and listen to how angry we all get at that. Aaron from Z1, Nigel Davis from the Wonder Emporium, just restocking new stuff. We've got Ian McComish, Paul from SP Film Viewers, Maria, we've got Ali, Dale and Megan, we've got Jen, lovely Rob Jones from Records and Bands, Jake, Kieran, we have got Lee Davies, and it could be you. If you give us a quid or more, give us more. That would be nice. It is my birthday this month. Give me more money. Give us money. Yeah, it's my birthday in a couple of weeks' time. So give us money, or I don't know, send me fucking beer tokens. That'd be nice.
Aye.
Yeah, or a fucking membership to Slimming World probably be better after my Christmas, you know. But yeah, gentlemen, as always, a fucking pleasure. We'll have Paul back on this year, whether he's busy or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Blammo. John, say some nice things to the lovely people at home.
Hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year. I know it's all gone by way, but happy 2025. Let's hope it's another good one, big man.
It's our 5th year of podcasting, John. We're into our
five
year
years.
of podcasting.
Jesus.
Congratulations, dude.
And they said it
Thank
wouldn't
you.
last. And they
I
said it
know.
wouldn't be any good. And they were
I
right.
Went,
And now we've got
laughing,
people
crying.
paying for it. Yeah, exactly. People paying for it, and John paying for it every week with my impressions. Yeah. So, yeah, fantastic stuff. Paul, we love you so much. We love your work.
Aw.
We think honestly, you are one of the
Yeah,
best
you-
friends that we've made through podcasting.
Oh.
But we say that to all of our friends through podcasting.
Especially once again, free comics.
But no, you've really kind of given us inspiration for shows and things like that. So we'll have you on later on in the year for Taken, and then
I'm
next
going to
year.
cry in a minute.
Well,
Look, people don't say nice things down south, though, do
I know.
they? He's not used to it. It's because of northern.
Yeah,
So
don't do that
it's-
Milton Keynes. Don't do that Milton Keynes. I'm
That's
thinking
it, yeah.
that Van Damme, like a Van Damme good time.
yeah,
Big man in for a
well,
Van Damme good
let's
time.
let's absolutely do that. Let's find a Van Damme movie that isn't fucking Street Fighter, and let's cover that.
Get in the Van
Let's do that.
Damme.
Yeah. Get in the Van Damme. Fantastic, gentlemen. Thank you very much, listeners. Thank you so much for all of the time that you've spent listening to this bollocks. I don't know what it sounds like, but I've had a fucking whale of a time.
You always
I
do.
really have. I really have. For now, he's been Paul, he's been John, I've been Planty, and this has been 79 Things We've Learned from Deathwish 4, The Crackdown. See you guys.
See ya.